If your brain feels sharp in the morning, but by 2 p.m. it starts to feel cloudy, making it hard to focus and dial into your thoughts, there might be a simple fix for you. Your brain needs energy whether you're burning through fat or glucose. Doesn't matter the diet you're on. And to actually use either one, you need a vitamin B1. The problem is the B1 form from your diet is water soluble, which means it can't efficiently cross into the brain. So this brings us to what I call a brain energy bottleneck. Your brain is starving for energy while B1 is stuck in your bloodstream, completely unable to reach the cells that actually need it. But it turns out years ago, Japanese researchers had discovered a workaround to this. They created a fat-soluble form of B1 that slips right through the blood-brain barrier and delivers thiamine directly where it needs to go. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is, the research-backed dose, why this has been under the radar for so long, and how to actually use it. But first, let me show you why your brain runs out of gas in the first place. Your brain is an energy hog. It's a tiny fraction of your body weight, but burns through roughly a quarter of all the calories you consume, even when you're sleeping. And thiamine is absolutely crucial for that process because without it, your cells can't turn fuel into usable energy. Whether you're burning through glucose or fat, you need thiamine to complete that conversion. No thiamine, your cellular energy system stalls out. But it's not just about energy. Thiamine is essential for making acetylcholine, the brain chemical that controls focus, memory, and learning. When thiamine drops, acetylcholine production drops, and that's when brain function starts falling apart. And here's the thing. Marginal thiamine deficiency is way more common than anybody talks about. You just feel it, tired, foggy, can't handle stress like you used to. It shows up like that word finding difficulty. You know what you want to say, but you just can't grab the word, or that walking into a room and forgetting why you are there. It's that afternoon brain fog that makes simple tasks feel absolutely impossible. And if any of this sounds familiar, your brain might be starving for energy. But the real problem, it's not about getting enough thiamine. It's about using the right form to get it where it needs to go. Now, standard thiamine is the stuff you find in multivitamins, in fortified bread, in cheap B vitamin supplements. It's water soluble, and that creates a massive bottleneck. Water soluble vitamins have a difficult time trying to slip through cell membranes. They need special carriers to shuttle them across, which means absorption is slow, limited, and inefficient. But it gets worse. Your brain has what's called the blood-brain barrier. This is an incredibly tight security system that blocks most substances from getting in. And standard thiamine struggles to get across. So if you're taking regular thiamine supplements, your blood levels, they might look decent, but your brain cells could be starving for it. Researchers have actually looked at brain tissue in thiamine deficient states under electron microscopes. They've seen mitochondria completely falling apart and neurons swelling up, all because thiamine can't get where it needs to go. Now, I'm going to show you exactly what this compound is and give you the full protocol in just a minute. But there's one weird thing I need to warn you guys about first. About 20 to 30% of people get a strange reaction in the first week when they start this. If you don't know it's coming, you'll think it's not working and quit it way too soon. I'll explain what that is too in a second. But first, if you're finding this useful, hit the like and subscribe button. I dig through the research just like this regularly, so you don't have to. All right, the compound they developed, it's called TTFD. I'll put the full chemical name down below on the screen. TTFD is fat soluble, which means it passes through cell membranes without needing transport proteins. Standard thiamine needs a key to get through the door. TTFD, it just walks straight through. No waiting, no bottlenecks. And brain imaging studies in humans, including a 2021 first in-human study, confirmed it. TTFD accumulates in brain tissue at concentrations way higher than standard forms. Once TTFD gets inside your cells, it converts into the active form your body actually uses. And that active form does three crucial things. First, it increases mitochondrial energy by activating the key enzymes for that energy production. The enzymes help convert your fuel, whether it's glucose or fat, into ATP. Without it, this whole system grinds to a halt. Second, it helps with acetylcholine synthesis. Acetylcholine needs specific building blocks that thiamine helps create. Third, and this surprised the researchers, TTFD activated dopamine release. A 2018 study found that TTFD promoted voluntary activity and motivation through dopamine signaling in the brain. This wasn't just energy, it was drive with motivation to actually do things. A 2024 study showed TTFD promotes arousal and cuts through fatigue by its support in brain energy metabolism. People taking it reported clearer thinking and less brain fog. And in a 1996 clinical trial where participants took 100 milligrams daily for 12 weeks, it showed improved cognitive function in older adults with mild memory issues. So if this works so well, why has it been under the radar for so long? First, most of the research happened in Japan and China starting back in the 1950s. Hundreds of studies that were never translated into English, and Western researchers had no idea this even existed. Second, economics. Standard thiamine is incredibly cheap. Supplement companies have zero incentive to promote a more expensive alternative when they can just keep selling the cheap stuff, and most people just don't even realize it's less efficient. Third, thiamine isn't trendy. The supplement industry hypes B12, vitamin D, magnesium. Nobody's making YouTube videos about thiamine deficiency, so it stays invisible. But TTFD has been used in Japan since the 1960s, over 60 years of clinical use. Hundreds of case reports treating serious brain conditions, chronic fatigue, and nerve damage, along with cognitive decline. The safety data is extensive. The clinical results are remarkable. This isn't some new biohack. It's a well-researched compound with decades of medical use in other countries. Now, if you've researched thiamine before, you've probably already heard of benfotiamine and sulbutamine. People always ask, what's the difference? Well, benfotiamine is good for peripheral nerves, blood sugar issues, and nerve damage from diabetes. And it has excellent absorption into blood and the liver. The problem, multiple studies show it does not cross the blood-brain barrier efficiently. It also needs specific enzymes to convert it, and those enzymes aren't present in significant amounts in brain tissue. If your issues are nerve pain in your hands or your feet, for that, it works great. Then there's sulbutamine, which does cross the blood-brain barrier and does have similar cell-penetrating properties to TTFD. The difference, it's often described as a more stimulating compound. Some people find it too activating, especially if you're sensitive to dopamine changes, where TTFD tends to be better tolerated for most people. Both work for brain issues, but TTFD has more research for general brain energy and long-term use. Sulbutamine has more research for mood and motivation. The bottom line, for brain fog, cognitive decline, mental fatigue, TTFD and sulbutamine. And then for nerve pain, diabetic complications, peripheral issues, benfotiamine. And all of these beat standard thiamine for bioavailability. But as you can see, they're not all the same. Now, on to how to use this. The effective dose in human studies is 50 milligrams to 100 milligrams per day. Most TTFD supplements come in 50 milligrams or 100 milligram capsules. I recommend starting with 50 milligrams in the morning. And here's the weird reaction I mentioned earlier. Some people need an adjustment period when they first start, especially if they're really thiamine deficient. For about 2 weeks, you might feel a little worse, increased fatigue, brain fog, maybe some digestive discomfort as well. This isn't a bad reaction. It's your body adjusting to actually having enough thiamine after running on empty for so long. Researchers documented this extensively. It's a known phenomenon that fixes itself and doesn't affect everyone. If it happens, just drop down to 25 milligrams and then kind of gradually increase every few days until you hit 50 or 100 milligrams. Take TTFD in the morning or early afternoon, not at night, because it possibly can give you energy and possibly mess with your sleep. And even though they say you can take it with or without food, I'd recommend taking it with food for better absorption. And on a side note, TTFD needs magnesium to work properly. They actually work together. If you're magnesium deficient, TTFD can't do its job efficiently. So you can take 200 milligrams to 400 milligrams of magnesium daily. Doesn't matter what type, glycinate, threonate, or taurate. They all work great. And adding a B complex vitamin is a great idea because thiamine works synergistically with B2, B6, and B12. They all support each other. Another weird thing, some people might notice a garlic-like smell or taste after taking TTFD. It's normal, so don't think there's something wrong with the product, like it's gone rancid or something. It's a sulfur compound, and that usually fades after a few weeks of use. And finally, avoid coffee or tea for an hour before or 2 hours after taking it. This is because the tannins in those beverages interfere with its absorption. Final thoughts. TTFD solves a fundamental problem with thiamine supplementation. It actually crosses a blood-brain barrier and gets into the cells that need it the most. That's why it's been used clinically in Japan for decades to treat brain fog, fatigue, and cognitive decline. The research backs it up. Multiple studies showing better energy metabolism, dopamine activation, acetylcholine support, and cognitive improvements. This is David. If this was useful and helpful to you, drop a comment. And have you tried TTFD? Leave a comment down below. Let us know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.